welcome back to another episode of the Radiant Thoughts podcast. It's your favorite host, KP.
It's your girl, Tori J.
And we back with another episode for y'all today. So we were filming this on St. Patty's Day, so we got our green on. You know what I'm saying? Being real festive. Real festive for the holidays, even though it's gonna come out next week. But you know what I'm saying, it is what it is. But what's going on? How you feeling today? We ain't had no dialogue for real on the pod in a while.
Okay.
Feel okay? Mm-hmm. What's wrong? Why just okay?
Nothing, just tired.
Why you tired?
It's first day back from spring break. First week back, so.
Back in school.
Yeah.
How that's going for you?
It's going okay.
It's going okay. We gotta speak life into it.
I mean, it's not bad. It's going well.
It's going well.
Well, yeah.
But we gotta be, we gotta speak life into things that we doing. It was going great, even though it might not be going great. You know what I'm saying? Don't limit yourself.
Okay.
But
it's going great. How are you?
I'm doing fantabulous.
Fantabulous.
Yeah, no, I feel like I'm doing good. I'm real ecstatic. I'm partaking in Ramadan. So I've been fasting stuff, trying to test my abilities, as they say. So just seeing what I can do without and have discipline for myself and stuff like that, and just be able to grow for myself, see what I can do, you know what I'm saying? But for today, what I wanted to talk about is people that limit their ability to grow, kind of talking down on themselves in a way and stuff like that. So what I wanted to talk about is something I found was it was limited beliefs, and I thought I had it readily accessible. The definition of a limited belief is a judgment about yourself that you think to be true and restricts you in some way. And it says these beliefs are often false accusations that you make about yourself that can cause a number of negative results. And I didn't even think that they would be like false accusations. I guess I didn't look at them as false accusations because it might be true, but you just baiting into it. But I can see if it like more so like things in the future when it had like, I can't do that because I just ain't I just ain't this, or kind of having that sense. There's people that say like, that's just the way I am and don't change type of thing too. I feel like that's a limited belief or like a limited phrase that people have for themselves. So what do you take from having like limited beliefs? How can that like affect people? I
mean, if you set a limit on yourself, you're only going to give so much.
Yeah, it's like a cap.
Yeah, so I don't think anybody should set a limit on themselves. Granted, I know we talked about the part that you said about like people talking down on themselves. I feel like I kind of do that, and we've talked about that. Like, I do that to myself a lot, but that stems from other things, I think. But for me, it's like I've heard it from other people, so then like it made me want to prove them wrong. So then like when I do it to myself, it's like my
prove yourself wrong.
In a way, yeah, but like, okay, if I'm nervous about something, I'm like, you can't do this. Like, you're not going to do good. You're not going to do good. And then you get out there and you do good. It's like like, I don't know. It's kind of like
but
kind of calms the nerve. Not calms the nerves, but like.
It ramps them up.
No, I think it's just like, okay, well, here goes. Like.
But how better do you think you could be if you spoke life into those situations? Right.
But I think for me, and I know this isn't a healthy thing, but I think it's like setting the expectation lower, so then like if something goes wrong, I'm not like disappointed.
I suppose,
if
but
that
that's kind of,
you know what I'm saying? Because if I say like, oh, you can do this, you're gonna go out there and do great, and it's like, okay, now you really have to go out there. And do
I feel
great.
like that's putting pressure on yourself to make sure you do good, as opposed to telling yourself no. Because like we start to believe those lies. If you really think that you can go out there and do it, why tell yourself
like
otherwise?
It's a mind play thing, though. For me, and I know this isn't a good thing to do, but I
don't take her advice, y'all. I ain't gonna lie.
Don't be like me. I don't know.
No, but I feel like in the aspect of the people that kind of say, I kind of want to speak to the people that just say like, that's just the way I am. And like, I'm not going to change. Like, this is just.
Well, I acknowledge that what I'm doing is probably not the best. So that's not the same thing.
But like, when you think of that, like, when people don't want to change like things about themselves, or like if they have a certain way they go about doing things, or like a bad attitude, or like just certain things that you can change, and they just stuck to, no, that's just the way I am and I ain't changing for nobody. And like that hinders your ability to grow.
It does.
And I think that people mess themselves over by having that belief system. And like a reason I wanted to talk about that today is because that's something that I seen. I seen it on social media not too long ago. It was a conversation about like, if you're not willing to change, then you won't go anywhere. Like if you just stay stuck in whatever like belief that you have about yourself, if you just believe like, well, this is me and this is it and I ain't, then that's all you're gonna be for the rest of your life. And if you're okay with that, then I guess that's on you. But if you're not okay with that, that's like you're holding yourself back by not being able to challenge that and say, okay, I can be better than this.
All right.
And I think that's it's kind of like that half empty, like pessimistic mentality that people have when they approach situations, or like even thinking about themselves. And I feel like we should never be half empty thinking about ourselves. Like, I think that's why I don't agree with what you you say. I think we should always be. Now, do you hit points in the road to where it's like, dang, I really don't know what I'm going to do? Absolutely. Everybody goes through those low moments. But I think more often than not, then we should be like half full and optimistic about whatever opportunities or changes that we might, have or be like in front of us and stuff. So I want to get your opinion on like how that, just your situation. Do you feel like that kind of affects the way you feel about yourself, like your personal self-image at all? Like,
as far as what?
Like, do it make you feel bad about like for yourself, or like do you think less of yourself in that regard?
I don't know. It's kind of weird. Like, I don't really know how to explain it. It's only like, okay, say I have to go speak in front of people. I don't like talking to people that much. So like, if I know I have to go speak in front of people and I gotta read like a bio for somebody that I'm like introducing or something, and I get told 20 minutes before or something, I'm like, my nerves are gonna be worked up. So me like, I mean, I think that's like childhood trauma as well. Okay. But like me just saying that is like, okay, whatever. Like at that point, my nerves are gone because I'm like, you know what I mean? Like that's why I said it's kind of like a mind play thing. Okay. So just let's say for people that, let's take my example, just like that's just the way I am type of thing. How do you feel like that would affect their self-image about themselves? I feel like you said, they wouldn't have any room for growth, but you're going to be around people that are constantly growing and you're still staying the same. So then you're probably going to feel worse about yourself, because more than likely you're not going to have anybody around you at the end of the day. Like, facts. I think there are things that I feel like characteristic traits that you should be like, no, like that's what it is. Like, but to just say like, oh, I have a bad attitude, that's just how I am, that's not acceptable. What JT say, pretty face with my attitude stank. like just to be like, I don't know, I'm trying to think of like another example of like, I'm just rude. Like that's not, like there's certain things I feel like, if you're gonna like say a mean girl, like that ain't even really certain characteristics. You should definitely be like, okay, this is just that. There's no change in that. But that would be like, okay, I'm not gonna let anybody deteriorate my self-worth or something. Like something like that. Because you're deteriorating your own self-worth by continuing to have those belief factors. And I think also with that comes when you start to like believe those things and it makes you have like more of a poor self-image about yourself, you start to become miserable within yourself. And then, we kind of crabs in the barrel. So like we reaching out to pull other people back. So let me find somebody else that's miserable. Oh, that's why I said you ain't gonna have nobody at the end of the day. If I'm miserable, let me go talk to Tori and see if she's miserable. And then if you're not, And now I'm like, all my stuff on you, and that's gonna make you miserable.
Exactly. Yeah. Or they projecting, their misery onto you, which at the end of the day, that in turns make you a terrible friend or associate, whatever you may be, because now you're projecting what you feel about yourself onto somebody else. And then you have the people that, so if you came to me projecting your whatever, and I don't accept it, there's people that get angry and upset about that and start having, mishaps and fights and arguments and stuff, to the point where it's like, you came to me with your negative mindset. I don't accept that. And so, and now that, like I said, the misery loves company. They just want to have some more people to be miserable with them. And I think that's just kind of a terrible way to go about doing stuff. But I think those people that do that, that's kind of toxic for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
That's the toxic friend you don't need around. Y'all don't need their friends around. If they projecting they, miserable moments or whatever they feeling about themselves onto you, then that's like with bullies, what we always told in school, like they bullying you, making fun of you because of how they feel. Yeah. And it's literally, I used to think that was a lie.
No, it's the truth.
I used to think that was a complete lie, because I'm like,
you want to go pick on somebody else because you're not comfortable with your own self, or you have internal issues or external family, whatever issues that you got going on, that you don't know how to deal with that. So you want to pick on somebody else and make them feel less than.
Yeah, but I truthfully used to think that was cap until I got older and realized, like, they really doing that. Like, but I didn't really it wasn't in the form of bullying. It was in the form of like the misery loves company type of thing. And they try to get you to feel how they feel, or, just try to have something over you or something like that. And I feel like that is terrible. Yeah.
Okay. So if you had, like, I'm gonna just give you a scenario since we're on the topic of toxic. So say you have a friend and, like, okay, let's just say you're a girl. I'm just trying to make it more realistic. So, like, girls tell their friends everything mostly, And so, but as a girl, I feel like most of the time we try to, like, insert ourselves into, like, the situations to try to, like, help. So say I'm, like, going through something, I don't know, something semi-drastic or whatever. And I'm just like...
Semi-drastic?
I don't know.
All right, you going through something.
Yeah, I don't know. So say I'm, like, all down and out all the time, like, never in a good mood, and, like, you be trying to cheer me up and I just be always talking about it, or, like, I'm always, like, trying to bring it up, and, like, what is it?
Like a woe is me type of person?
A what?
Woe is me?
What's that?
Like, just, oh my gosh, this is so horrible, this is bad, this is happening to me, woe is me, like...
Never heard of that before, but sure.
Oh my gosh.
And
you
like...
live under a rock?
Maybe.
Patrick Star?
Maybe.
Okay, continue.
But just, like, always bringing it up, and I'm, like, looking to you for help, and, like, you're helping as much as you can without, like, inserting yourself into it more so to, like, keep your distance, because you can tell, like, I'm so depressed and whatever, and you don't want to feel like that, so you're like, okay, I'll help you when I can, but, like, not too much. Like, do you feel like that's toxic as a friend?
Which friend?
Me. To always look for you to, like, help, or, like, to always look to, I feel like it, you get what I'm saying?
It definitely can be, because
if that's all I want to talk about, if that's
all you're talking about, and, like, that's depressing, and it's gonna bring me down with you.
Right. Do you feel like that's a toxic friend?
I feel like it can be toxic. It depends on your relationships with them as well, though. But I think that situation is like a toxic situation, because it's kind of like, I want to help you. If we're close enough for me to help you,
right? But I'm not obligated to help you.
I'm not obligated, and if I get really entrenched in it, it becomes a problem for me as well, because I start feeling the same pain as you. But if I feel a type of way
that you're not helping me,
no,
or something like that, like, you think that's toxic?
I think that's how you feel a way about, because it's not my responsibility. Like, yeah, I'm here to help you. That's what friends are for. But at the end of the day, if I am trying to help you and you're not taking the help, then no, I have to move on. Yeah. There's no reason.
I just brought that up because I feel like people be in toxic situations and they don't realize it. Like, when you think toxic, you think of, like, relationships, like the boyfriend, girlfriend, like, all the rah-rah.
Yeah.
instead of like, you know, just everyday situations. And I feel like people deal with toxic stuff and don't realize it a lot.
It's a lot of different types of, you know, toxic behavior.
Your parents can be toxic too.
Oh, for sure. But like just jealousy, the gossip, and like all of that though, like just being around. Because again, that goes back into the projecting how they feel about something. So I'm finna go tell so and so because this how I feel about the situation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like that's all toxic behavior for sure.
Absolutely.
How do you feel about it with like friends that are like y'all just kind of like not vibing, y'all not on the same like vibration, y'all one person going completely other direction and you going in one direction, and like it's not that they're putting their toxic behaviors on you, but just they bring their toxicity around you in that in that regard. How do you feel about that? How do you evaluate that?
I mean, I think you just need to like evaluate the friendship and like, you know, because I feel like I've experienced that in my own life, like having friends that like we was cool and stuff, but like at a certain point it's like I don't want to do that all the time, or like you know, like all smoking, drinking, and like all of that 24/7. Like we have other stuff that we can go do, you know. I feel like that's toxic as well, just like that's the only time that we would be able to hang out,
right?
You know what I mean? And I think just evaluating and figuring out like, okay, that's not the path I want to be on. Clearly they're not trying to meet halfway or like come this way. Like, I don't know.
Well, do you think it's toxic, or is just kind of more so just like a difference that y'all have?
It depends on what they're doing though, because their behavior is toxic technically.
Okay.
Not necessarily like toxic to me, but like it's just toxic behavior in general.
Okay. In that aspect.
And that creates a toxic environment, toxic friendship, so to speak. If that's the only time.
Because if I don't want that, and that's the only
then
time
we don't never hang out. So like, unless I give in to your toxic behavior, that's the only time we're gonna be cool.
Okay. Yeah, we ain't going for that. Don't need no toxic energy around. For sure. But when talking about toxic friends and having those people around you, though, I think that even with the, you know, having limited beliefs about yourself, I think one thing that can help change that is like having forgiveness from people, you know, in a way, and being able to, you know, because forgiveness is not for, like, if I'm forgiving you for something that you did, I'm not forgiving you for you. That's like
for yourself,
for myself, to set myself free. And I never thought about it like that until I started hearing people say it and explain it. And I'm like,
I hear people say it all the time. I feel like it's a level of maturity that you have to reach in order to.
It's for sure
to do that.
Because a lot of time I ain't trying to hear nothing you talking about. I'm not forgiving you. I'm not forgetting at all.
Well, that's the thing. So I was gonna say I don't know, and maybe I was gonna say we can maybe talk about that too, because I feel like you saying that you forgive somebody and like you're releasing all of that, but yet you still keep that in your brain. That's not really forgiving. Like, I feel like you can't fully forgive them. I don't want to say unless you forget, but like you gotta let it go. Like you can't keep.
You have to fully release it, and to where it's not even in your stratosphere anymore.
Forgetting.
Dang, yeah. But I don't forget.
So do you feel like you forgive people?
Do I forgive people? Yeah.
Some but in the sense of
I let go.
You forget, because you don't forget anything.
I just don't forget anything that happens at all.
But I'm saying, okay, so like, let's just say like situations that we've had and we went through stuff and we're like, okay, you know, like we got through it, we forgive each other, whatever. But if you're still thinking about it, or if it's still popping up, that's not really forgiving. Because it's still, you're not releasing it. It's still there.
But I don't think it's never gonna fully just like leave, like to where it's like blacked out of my mind. But if it comes back around, like, okay, but like if I don't entertain it, I think that's the thing. If it gets entertained, then that's where you haven't really forgave that person.
I feel like my brain is just like out of sight, out of mind kind of thing. So like if we're over something, it's just, I probably don't remember. Unless it's something like somebody really did something to me. Yeah. Like,
I remember everything. Like, I start remembering stuff when I was like 3, and I still remember certain memories from when like I was 3 years old.
Maybe that's just how certain people's brains function. I don't know.
With me not like forgetting stuff though, I think sometimes it might hinder because I think about stuff and it'll make me halfway might like relive the situation. I don't ever get mad about it or anything, and I know like that if I forgave, like say if you did something and I forgave you for it in the past, I don't hold you to that anymore.
But like, does it still, when it comes back up, does it still like bother you? Or like, do you feel the type of way? Like whether you
voice it to you or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, it like it's sometimes
some forgiving.
I think okay, well, in the sense of like forgiveness is for like me, then I guess so. I guess it ain't. I feel trapped, but I'm still kind of trapped by those, ideas. But I don't know. Like, how do you? So you say you just out of sight, out of mind. How do you do that? I can't. I feel I'm limiting myself. I haven't learned how to do that yet.
I don't know if I've really learned how to do it either. I think it's just like, if we say we done with something, let's just be done with it, and just I don't know. Like, because I feel like if I'm taking the time to, like, say I forgive you and all of that, then, like, whatever it is that you did to make me upset, like, there's no way to, like, move forward from that, you know? Mm-hmm. Like, say, I don't know, you did something that I felt was, like, disrespectful or whatever, and I say I forgive you, but then I still let that still come in my brain, and, like, I'm still thinking about it and stuff like that. I'm gonna feel some type of way because of it. Right. So, like, if I'm forgiving you and letting it go, that's not letting it go if I'm still thinking about it. Or, like, if we get into another argument, I'm like, yeah, because last time, or, like, stuff like that. Like, it's not forgiving.
It's not forgiving.
Because it's not letting it go. So, I think you just have to
be healed.
Like, if you're going to let it go, let it go.
Okay.
I think that's, like, the simplest way to put it.
I got you. Yeah, it's a struggle. Like, it's literally like I remember so much, and I've always remembered stuff. And so when like I might, feelings might be hurt or whatever, or something happened, like if I move past it, I feel like if you did something and I'm still with you afterwards, like I'm good on it, and I won't bring it back to like use it against you in that aspect that you just.
Right, but you're still letting it crowd your mind.
True.
You're still letting it take space.
Absolutely.
So do you have have you ever had issues with like forgiving people? Or like struggles?
I wouldn't say I never had like issues with forgiving people. I never was in like too many situations to where like people like did some wrong to me to where I was like, should I forgive them? Like it'd be little petty stuff, but like nothing super serious to the point to where I've had an issue with like, I don't know if I can forgive them for that. So I don't really know how to answer that because I don't think I have. Have you?
I don't think so. No, I wouldn't say like in a serious like you said, nothing too serious.
Like a real serious matter, yeah.
Nah.
Yeah, I just like that. I don't be like in conflict.
Yeah.
So I avoid conflict. If it presents itself, like I separate myself from stuff. So like, I try not to even let it get to the point to where they might snake me. And then I gotta be like, you know what, bro? I forgive you, dog.
Right.
I forgive you. Cause once a snake, always a snake. See, then it be that. Like you do something one time, like I'm gonna hold you to that. Like that's who you are.
Yeah.
Until you show me different. And so like, but at the end of the day,
but I don't think that's a sense of
forgiveness. Like I said, like you gotta realize forgiveness is for you.
I don't think it would be like I forgave you and you snake or whatever you did happened, cool. I'm gonna let it go. But like I know the characteristic that you have so more so than like no, I wouldn't say that because it's not like I know how to move from now on versus like okay, we're gonna see if it happened again, and if it happened again, then we're gonna let it like.
So you forgive them, but they just out your life, like you ain't even to where like you ain't even gonna let it happen again. Because you ain't gonna let them get back close to you. Yeah, for sure. I feel you on that. So okay.
And I think just in general, like if you are trying to forgive somebody, like we said earlier, like it's not for them, it's for you. So like just your overall like spirit in general would just feel much lighter. Just trying to like
You just be out here kind of, on clouds, you saying?
That I do?
No, I'm just saying, like, that's how you feeling?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know, you don't have anything, like, negative, like, weighing down on you.
Right. You just kind of,
Yeah.
Just whatever, it happened. You move past it. But at the same time...
I feel like that's how I am, though, so maybe that's just my personality.
You think so?
You don't think I'm like that?
To an extent. Some stuff you let bother you a lot.
Like what?
Like anything. This person did this, and it's just like irritated. Like in the moment, you be real.
Well, in
like,
the moment, yeah.
But then
probably.
down the line, you be like, no, because she did this and it was stupid, and I don't want to deal with that. And so you be going off sometimes, like so. And I be like, dang, calm down. You getting a little aggressive over here. You know what I'm saying? You know. But it's just like. Certain times I see you do that, and I feel like sometimes I act like how you act. I'm like, well, they did it, whatever. You go, you know, kind of just cut them off, or like. But that's funny, cause like I think the complete opposite when they come to myself. So that's interesting. But like, how do you feel like it makes you feel? Like, why do you feel like it make you feel that way? Like just kind of on cloud 9 or whatever.
I wouldn't say like on cloud 9, but like if you did something to me, it made me feel away, it made me feel betrayed or sad or whatever. That's a negative, yourself. Like, yeah, that's a negative thing to just carry every day.
A bag lady.
Yeah. Exactly.
Cause you can't hurry up because you got too much stuff.
Let it go.
Once you
let it go.
Once you start packing light, you good. You can move. Facts. So I guess, yeah. Erica told us. I didn't. That's the second time I didn't reference bag lady on this show. Erica,
Miss Badu,
where the bag at? Where's the money? Nah, for sure. No, I like that though. I'm gonna have to work on that. Definitely gonna have to work on that and get better with forgetting some things. Like I forget the things I want to forget, I think. Like stuff.
Right, it's a mind thing. You can control what you can control.
Yeah, me and my brother talked about that a lot. We talk about stuff. He reminded me of stuff that happened like in our childhood. Like it might even be just like, man, remember when we went and did this? And I'm like, bro, like I forgot all about that, bro. Like, but other things stick out like a lot. And then I just... Certain things I just have a tendency to remember. And like, I feel like when somebody has wronged me, I just have a high tendency of remembering what they did. Because every time I see your face, I'm going to remember what you did. But not that I'm like hurt by it still, but like I remember that it happened. Every time I see your face, like, okay, I'm going to remember that. And so, or anytime a situation comes about and it reminds me of a situation, I'm going to kind of remember that. Not that it just affects me, but I get it's taking up mental space. It's clogging your capacity, and like I guess I just haven't found a way to like let it go. But situations, I feel like that should be something that's let go. But if I see a person say that person like did something to me or whatever, and I see him, I ain't gonna never forget that. I probably gonna never forget that. You might be forgiven, but every time I see you, I know like. You might get bow.
I'm dead.
Fight on, you know what I'm saying? Okay. I don't know. Yeah, it's been there the whole time.
I forgot.
Look, she trying to throw it. We gonna keep that in there.
No.
We keep that in there because she thought it was like not there or something.
I forgot it was right there.
You know? So, but like at the end of the day, you know, just to recap on everything that we kind of touched on. I feel like we touched on a lot of stuff that was like, you know, informative. But I think the key thing I have like that I want to say, like, don't ever limit yourself. Like having those limited beliefs really keeps you stagnant in life or whatever you're trying to do. If you think like, this is how I am, or I can't do this, saying there's a term for those type of words, like I can't do this or I won't do this, and like you just killing yourself before you start. And so always have faith and believe in yourself for whatever endeavor you're trying to do. Like never limit yourself. Like we say set like realistic goals, but at the end of the day, like you gotta have something. Like some of them goals gotta be unrealistic. Like you gotta give yourself something to be able to chase and break through any boundaries or barriers that you know you want to reach. So it's important to me to not have, you know, any limited beliefs or tell myself that I can't do something, or you see I done corrected it on the episode, you know what I'm saying? So like that's my key point for this episode. And even with the forgiveness, you see, like I'm still learning there, you know what I'm saying? And like for sure we always still learning,
right?
All day, every day, it's gonna happen. We still, we still young. We only 23. She like 40, but you know what I'm saying.
You're older than me.
Here she go with that.
Yeah, he always wanted to pull the "I'm older than you" card when he want to use it, but you don't ever want to just let it be what it is.
Because that's what it is. What I just told you.
No, you're older than me.
Sugar mama. That's all right. I can be your sugar baby. Yeah, ain't that right? Now you want to look at the camera. Anywho, with that being said, man, it's been another episode of Radiant Thoughts. Be sure to check this out on all streaming platforms, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, all that, wherever you get your podcasts at. Tune in with us. So we'll be back next Sunday, you know what I'm saying? Next Sunday, me and your girl Tori J in the building. But until then, peace and happiness, and subscribe, share this out to all your people, and yeah, we out of here.